Let's get started with this.
50 Cent's Ferraris, they were rented. Robbie Williams' castle
What?
home, it belonged to someone else. MTV Cribs wasn't exactly legit.
And we said that was my house.
Oh, that wasn't your house?
No, it's all lies.
And
What?
nothing shows this better than the episode with Ja Rule.
Ja Rule didn't even know where exactly everything was yet.
Flexed his 5-bedroom mansion on Star Island in Miami, where he talked about living beside other famous celebrities. The house was so familiar that
What?
Ja Rule named each area, calling his courtyard the Open Paradise, which was patrolled by his guard dog Cookie. It was shown in the intro that the property was a rental, but this was assumed to be on a long-term basis, given he knew almost everything about the mansion. However, as it turns out, Ja Rule's house on Cribs was actually a 4-day rental, which was exposed
4-day
in
rental.
the most embarrassing way, by lawsuit.
Ja Rule sued.
Ja Rule paid $46,000 for the 4-day lease, promising
Damn.
the mansion's owner it'd be used as a private home for 8 adults with no video shoots and no loud parties.
Oh,
well,
shit.
Ja Rule broke all 3 conditions,
All of them.
shooting his MTV episode whilst having a party with over 600 people. In the process, holes were punched in the walls, furniture and doors were damaged, the driveway somehow cracked,
Bruh.
condoms and syringes were left throughout the house. As a result, Ja Rule and MTV were sued for $1 million, but at least it looked like a house that Ja Rule would live in, as the Yin Yang Twins' crib was laughably out of character. The Atlanta gangster rapping duo opened the door revealing the most suburban house, filled with fish tanks, sailing boats, and sea-related artwork.
We waving like the sea. We decorated this ourselves now.
That mansion was
they didn't.
decorated by some old white people.
For
not
real.
the Yang Twins.
This is clearly just a random old white guy's house that likes to fish and likes boats.
That even argue over where they bought appliances and had to improvise names for each of the fish. You can tell the Yin Yang Twins have never been in that house. At least owned the vehicles at the end, as the cars displayed by Bow Wow were rented for the show. He was just 18 years old during his first Cribs appearance, but despite having starred in some high-profile movies, it seemed unrealistic that he could afford a 6-bedroom mansion and a fleet of luxury cars.
That's true.
With his name airbrushed above his bed, it seemed as though Bow Wow at least owned the house.
Does own the house, seems like.
The luxury vehicles were a little more suspicious, because
that's a little bit more okay though. A rental. I know a bunch of people have rental cars.
2 years later, he'd go on the show again, during which a viewer made an observation. We had MTV Cribs running in the background and watched 21-year-old Bow Wow show off his bachelor pad in Miami, along with his pimped out Bentley, Lamborghini, and Cadillac Escalade. But then we noticed the word Prestige at the bottom of all 3 cars, and decided to Google Prestige Rental Cars Miami, and what do you know, there it was. Prestige was the name of the company that Bow Wow rented the cars from, which was likely encouraged by the show, as Birdman also used the service during his appearance. Regardless, people clowned on Bow Wow, stating, "Ha ha ha, I wonder if he rented the condo too," which by looking at his life was also highly likely. For example, he'd post his Ferrari to his Instagram, writing, "Take the drop top to the night spot. Keep the California in California. We went hard tonight, Grammy weekend," which was then reposted by a car rental company who accidentally exposed our good friend Bow Wow pulling up to the Grammys with our Ferrari California.
They did that on purpose.
1 year later, it was exposed for flexing a rented Hollywood mansion, but the worst example was in 2017, when he'd post this to his Instagram. He showed the private jet he was taking to concert, yet the very same day this Snapchat went viral. So this guy Lil Bow Wow is on my flight to NY, but on Instagram he posted a picture of a private jet caption "traveling to NY today," shaking my head. Bow Wow's
leave him alone.
of his private jet had been taken from a limo company's website. People to dig even deeper, discovering he'd done this on more than one occasion. Seems his MTV Cribs episode led to years and years of faking luxury, but as mentioned in Bow Wow's expose, 50 Cent had done a similar thing. 50 Cent's episode was the definition of excess. He showed
Damn.
His 19-bedroom, 35-bathroom mansion.
Damn, 19 bedrooms, 35 bathrooms.
Which included a squash court, movie theater,
What?
recording studio, and its very own nightclub. Equally impressive was his car collection,
That's a crazy house.
which included 4 different rare collectible Ferraris, leading him to state,
I know you ain't see these before when you was watching Cribs because everybody ain't got these.
yet it seems 50 Cent didn't have them either. Each Ferrari had little numbers on their windshields, leading to a four-post rigging. If you notice the small white numbers in the top left-hand corner of the windshields on the F50 and Enzo, those are the numbers of the cars that were in the Hartford Concorso parade, which was confirmed when the user posted these photos. Another forum member added, it's pretty obvious that they aren't his, because it's a known fact that there's only one yellow Enzo in CT,
Really?
which was owned by a pretty well-known hedge fund manager.
Oh, shit.
Well, someone else then officially confirmed. The Ferraris are unfortunately not 50 cents. He invited my friend over to his house for this, and my friend let him use his cars for the episode.
I would too. I wouldn't care.
And they were filming some music videos that day as well. The Enzo F50 and 599 all belong to one owner. When 50 Cent later filed for bankruptcy,
Yeah, there's no way.
he'd admit the cars were rented.
Yeah, those cars were rented.
Instead,
there's no way he
pay off
would've,
debts
you know.
by selling his mansion, therefore joining the
Because if they weren't rented, you know the government's gonna seize that.
likes of JoJo, who admitted to doing MTV Cribs while she was actually homeless.
What?
JoJo showed MTV through her Cape Cod vacation home, where she supposedly
She literally just brought that from home.
loved spending her summers. It was therefore a little weird that she'd invite her extended
That is weird.
family, but she'd reveal the reason for this exactly 10 years later. JoJo was asked about the episode in a Huffington Post interview, to which she
Fuck, hi. It was so ridiculous. Thing is, we didn't have a home at that point. My mom and I were living out of suitcases, and we were mostly in hotels. So that was actually my uncle's house on the Cape. Oh, what? Still counts. That wasn't my house. That wasn't my stuff. When I was sitting on the spiny thing, that was his kids. The truth. That's the truth. I should have balled harder. Should have balled hard and been.
respond, it was
Welcome to my crib. Look at how lucky.
so ridiculous. The thing is, we didn't have a
And I should have rented out a place, but no, I just used my uncle's crib. So
home at
that
that
was
point.
that was me lying on cribs.
Mom and I
Yeah, I would have rented a big ass crib.
were living out of suitcases and were mostly in hotels. So
Don't
that
care.
was actually my uncle's
What are you
house.
guys
on
gonna-
the
you guys
Cape.
are not gonna
That
know the
wasn't my
difference.
house, that wasn't my stuff. I should have balled hard and been like, welcome to my crib, look at how luxurious it is, and I should have rented out a place. But
For real.
no, I just used my uncle's crib. JoJo further clarified.
So we went to the Cape, which I've like never been to the Cape. I like never go to the Cape, and we said that that was my house.
Oh,
The
that wasn't
key.
your house.
No, that was not my house. We brought in some like items that I had.
Told
It's
you
just-
from home.
It's all lies.
Should also answer the question,
Why even bother doing the episode then?
Because
the
why not?
exposure. Oh.
Yeah, for the exposure, it exposes you more.
but no episode
Like, why would you do it?
is
Why wouldn't
fake
you?
than the one by Robbie Williams. He showed MTV
What?
his massive British castle, talking about
Oh my god.
the spots where he'd been snapped by paparazzi. He then shows his group of friends before making a joke,
I don't really know these people, but what I do is I actually phone Rent a Friend.
but apparently he'd also phoned Rent a Castle.
Rent
You
a
see, the
friend?
building was so big that people recognized it as the famous
But
St.
no shit, that's a big ass. They're gonna know.
Catherine's Court, which was owned by someone else completely, Jane Seymour. She had no idea
The
that
wife of the.
Bobby ever went there, or that he'd hired a fake butler to help out with the shoot. It
Oh shit.
wouldn't be until 17 years later that Robbie finally admitted, we didn't let Jane know that I was gonna pretend
Oh
it was
shit.
my house. And because I was like 23 and full of spunk, I didn't even consider other people's thoughts
Damn.
or feelings. So I'd like to take this opportunity to apologize to Jane Seymour, but it might not have even been
W.
Robbie Williams' fault. Because Redman
Nah,
explained in a
it wasn't his fault. I feel like MTV and Cribs were trying to like push it on
Dave
them.
Ladd interview that MTV tried to get him to
Told
rent
you.
a house for Cribs,
They wanted me to rent a house so I can open the big double doors and shit like, yo, look at my shit, you know.
with MTV trying to choose the home themselves.
Told you.
First thing they said was, all right, we got a couple of houses picked out for
for you. Wow. And I was like, oh, okay.
Well, Redman simply refused.
So they knew it was fake.
And I said, you know what? No, I don't want to rent a house. I want y'all to come to my house.
Accidentally making the show's most relatable episode.
Also, it was a real episode, Redman.
He brought MTV Cribs to his 2-bedroom apartment.
That's a real house, yeah. Who cares? Home studio, 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, yeah. That's his real house.
Where he ironed his
He ain't lying.
shirts on the floor and flexed his frozen
W guy. Now look how much he's worth. That's W, man. See how much he's worth now. 6.6 million. That's right. That's right. That's right. I like that. I like that. Redman, salute, my boy. W to Redman. Bro moved right. Bro wasn't showing off. Bro said, no, I'm gonna take you to my real crib where I actually stay at right now.
Accidentally making the show's most relatable episode.
That shit is relatable.
Brought MTV Cribs to his 2-bedroom
apartment.
Where he
That's relatable as fuck.
ironed his shirts on the floor and flexed his frozen fish fillet.
See?
Redman's recording studio was just a messy bedroom, whilst the rest of his house was in such disarray, you could barely notice his cousin sleeping on the ground.
That's funny, you see?
He concludes the episode stating, next time y'all need to find me, just rub these 2 wires for the door.
Nah, you don't need to do that no more.
Don't worry about the screen too. You know it's still good.
The realest episode of MTV Cribs. Redman didn't fake it like other celebrities.
W Redman.
Bye, have a great time.